Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 4th. We're going to pause this meeting until we have a quorum. Just waiting for Rob to show up this morning. So we'll start when he gets here.
So it's 8:49 a.m. and we are here for Development Services budget meeting.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Anderson Cook, Director, Grant County Development Services, here to present the 2026 Building and Planning proposed budget. So having not done this before, how do we want to begin? Do we want to begin with the current expense planning 111 budget?
Normally they start with salaries, benefits, and then go in like that, go either to your planning and building side, however you want to do it.
Okay, so I'll start on my summary page for 111 planning with salaries and benefits. So 2025 budget salaries and benefits was 772,706. 2026 proposed is 903,497. Some difference, 130,000. That's a 17% change. We do have one position request, which represents the bulk of that change. Supplies and services in 2025 was 628,000 roughly. 2026 is 944,559. Some difference, 315, 50% change. The primary reason for that increase was there wasn't an expense that was accurately captured in the 2025 budget that is being pushed forward into the 2026 budget. Revenues, 2025 general revenues was budgeted at $250,000. 2026 budgeted at $688,400. That is a net change of $438,000 or 175%. And that is driven by solar revenues, permit revenues, and administrative fees. Grants, 2025 budget was $455,000. 2026 budget is $500,000. Net change $45,000 or 10%. So again, in summary, 111 planning expenses grand total 32% increase. However, revenues grand total 69% increase. Moving on to Fund 138-116 building. 2025 expenses or salaries and wages was $1,352,899. In 2026, that is proposed to increase to $1,706,197, which is a net change of $353,298 or 26%. That is driven by a couple of requests, 3 requests specifically. We have a request for a second deputy fire marshal position. We have a request to fill a previously approved administrative assistant position. And I have put in a request for a full-time file clerk in addition to the existing part-time file clerk. And that would be for record retention and to fill public information requests. Supplies and services, 2025 was $205,637. In 2026, we're proposing $200,845, which is a $4,792 decrease or negative 2%. We have a capital request. 2025 was 0. 2026 was $365,000, and that is detailed in our capital requests, which we can go over at the end. And then there was a fund balance transfer in 2025. We are not anticipating one or proposing one in 2026, which is a decrease.
Jim, can I pause you for just a moment? The spreadsheet that Mandy shared with us, I am not seeing the numbers that you are sharing. So I want to make sure that we're all seeing the same thing.
Correct. Yeah. On your capital request that I'm looking at, you've got $515,000. Fire marshal, over there.
Yeah. So there's likely.
What I have is right behind you. And I shared it with you as well, Jim.
I want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
So is that Does that not sum total $365,000?
It does, sir.
Okay, is that not what's on my budget summary?
515,000. So I'm wondering if it's not including,
So
Water Smart is what's
the
different.
difference is the Water Smart, which is in the planning, that's in the planning summary. Under expenses, if we go capital outlay at the bottom of
Right here.
planning expenses, that's 150,000 cost sharing for Aspect.
okay,
We didn't have a separate page for capital expenses for planning.
that's fine.
Yeah, okay, so.
We're all good.
That answer that?
Yep, thank
Okay,
you.
so so for revenues, 2025 budget is 1,650,000. In 2026, budget is 2.8 million roughly, which is a net change of $1,190,000, 72%. That is being driven again by solar, 2 solar projects, and then no transfers. So that is a 63% change, positive change in revenues, as opposed to, again, a 38% increase in expenses, for a positive difference of $567,958. Questions?
Do you know if you're planning on trying to add anything like permit tech or plan review position down in the building to keep up with the number of permits that you guys are setting records every year, right?
Well, we are. The revenue is skewed because of, again, the sheer dollar amount that mechanical permits generate for solar. And so that is 1 permit, but it's roughly, in some cases, $500,000 in permit revenues. So it doesn't take a whole lot to do that review. However, the ask for an administrative assistant is to remove the burden that's being placed currently on the permit technicians to do the financial pieces of running the office. So we're talking about paying the bills, ordering the supplies, running payroll, administering the grants. Those burdens are placed currently on 2 permit technicians who then, and it's almost full-time work, and they're not able to focus on, the issuing of the building permits, the routing of the building permits.
That admin assistant, sorry to interrupt, but that admin assistant was approved
It was,
in 2025, but hadn't been filled.
but not filled. Yeah, we had a change in leadership, and obviously, and that was a position that was drafted by the previous director, and I, incoming, wasn't 100% sure that was something that I wanted to fill. It wasn't a position that I wasn't sure we needed, only because I wanted to see what changes would occur with the implementation of Tyler Technologies, meaning would new software streamline the financial components of the county businesses, and do we need an administrative assistant full-time to do something that was anticipated to be easier? And that we still don't know the answer to that. So now, as far as permit review, we have 3 building inspectors, and we have 2 routes that they serve. The county is split right down the middle, and one serves the east side, one serves the west side, and one is in rotation should somebody be on vacation or be sick or what have you. The person that is in coverage, that is then in the office, is also a plans examiner. And we do, you'll notice, have a position open that needs to be filled for a second plans examiner that we'll be looking to fill now that we have made an offer and filled the previously approved deputy fire marshal position. So
The plans examiner position, is that on PMR or is previously approved? You just haven't had a chance to fill it?
exactly, previously approved and we haven't filled. And that is a result of promoting Jerry to building official, and we needed to backfill him and his plan review scope of work.
Thanks, Jim.
So the admin assistant was approved for planning.
It was approved for
Funding
planning.
was in planning, but you're wanting it in building.
Yes, I moved it to building because building had
That's
the
the funds.
to cover. Yeah, I wanted to pull it out of current expense. So I pulled my salaries out of out of planning current expense and the administrative assistant.
Thank you for that explanation. Any planning changes?
Yeah, so there is a I have a proposed environmental planner position, which would be a new position. And I have an internal candidate that has been groomed for that position. So if we were to open it, we would of course open that internally and externally. If it were to be filled by an internal candidate and we were to backfill their position externally, we would of course restart that person at a lower band. So it would result in actually about a $30,000 net savings to what I have proposed in the budget currently.
Any other positions, reclassifications that you were expecting in 2026?
No reclassifications. Just the only other ask is for the part-time file clerk, or the FTE file clerk, and that person would be again scanning hard, paper records that we have throughout the office and in the basement, and then assisting with public information requests. Now, and I have provided Tom a brief summary in my update. I have prepared an alternate budget. This one, again, the ask is for a second deputy fire marshal position, and the commissioners and Tom are aware of that request and the reason for the request. I have prepared an alternate budget that removes that second deputy fire marshal position and the capital request of a vehicle of $80,000, and then the ER&R monies required to run that vehicle down the road for the year, which is $26,000. So that would come off of the budget. And then the replacement for that position would be what we're calling a community risk reduction specialist, effectively a permit technician. So they would come in at a lesser salary, of course, so that would be a savings over a second deputy fire marshal position, and then obviously the savings in the vehicle and fuel. So that would result in a positive lift of $62,000 over the budget that I have in front of you.
Out of curiosity, the F-150 on the Capitol, can it be done with a smaller truck, or does it have to be a full-size truck?
Preferred full size just because of the equipment for investigations and those kind of things.
And but to that end, we are as our current F-150s that our building inspectors are using age out, those are being replaced with hybrid all-wheel drive Mavericks because they do not need a full-size rig, which brings the ER&R down, as we talked about yesterday. Those are 73 cents a mile as opposed to $1.30.
What are the chances of surplusing one of those F-150s early to Nathan and then picking up a Maverick?
That's not a bad idea. We could talk to John Spees about that.
Save you.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. We can just kickstart that. I mean, we have one F-150 right now that's I think actually two of them are due to be cycled out already. If I recall.
Red one's being replaced. It should be here in April.
Yeah, it's part of
We're looking at.
Can historic preservations pay for salary for file clerk?
If their purpose is to archive, which I think we used that budget in the past, it's a Michelle call. but I think she said yes in the past. And used that fund to pay for that person.
In planning expenses, be aware I have a couple requests, and they are not a reoccurring software request. It's a one-time request, but I have a $22,000 overhaul of SmartGov to be compliant with Senate Bill 5290, which is a stop clock bill. And so what it does is it would allow for the tracking of our land use permits through the SmartGov platform, to ensure that we're hitting the mandated timelines that are established by that bill, and to do some tweaking that we need downstairs in the building department, and to provide training. So there's a $22,000 request there. In addition to that, I have a $20,000 request with Laserfish and ArcGIS, and that request is to connect ArcGIS, which is our mapping software that everybody in the county can use, privately and publicly. You would be able to click on a parcel and access a PDF of information attached to that parcel. So say, for example, the plat maps, or staff reports, or building permits, or anything that's associated with any land use action on that parcel would be attached to, in that map. And we can do it on the fly. So let's say a planner goes downstairs and grabs an old historical file and is doing research for a customer that has called wanting to know, hey, I want to buy this parcel. What can you tell me about it? How did it come to be? They answer the question, but then before they return that file, they scan all that information in to this platform, and it becomes linked to that parcel layer. Now it's there forever for both the planner, the assessor, but also the public to see.
That would be nice.
Is that the data that's kept in EagleWeb through the auditor?
No, this would be permanently archived in Laserfish.
I mean, right now, I would think to go to you to get a copy of a plat map or some recorded document.
Right, but you could through this process. I mean, right now we're of course going through the auditor portal. But so think about that from a public information request perspective. Now we can toggle on and off what the public can see as opposed to what we can see in the office. So now from the in the planning department, especially in type 3 permits, everything is a public record because we've taken it, we posted it publicly and taken it to a hearings examiner. So we're really not scrubbing anything, so to speak. But we have the ability to toggle documents on or off should they not be available to the public. But now, if we had that technology, we just point them to the public-facing ArcGIS map. They can click on their own parcel number, and they can see all of the historical data that's available to them that's associated with that parcel. And it has the ability to track, parent parcels. So we're looking at a parcel that has been subdivided. It can go backwards and tell us how it got there. What was the parent parcel, and what's the history on that parent parcel? So
That would be so nice.
it would be amazing. So it kind of kills two birds with one stone. I'm asking for a FTE file clerk to scan, but it also engages our current staff to scan on the fly. So we can start archiving, those files that are sitting in that basement.
How much time do you think that would save you from the
Oh.
public calling you, asking for this information? You
Oh,
can say, here's where you go. You're done.
I wouldn't even begin to know how to quantify it. I mean, just saving my staff the amount of time to research, over and over and over again. Because there's the usual suspects, right? I mean, it's the parcel. There's that inevitably that handful of parcels that are undeveloped that somebody calls on, several times a year. So, in any event, I wanted the board and you, Tom, to be aware that we have a couple pretty innovative, cool requests in there. I know it's tight this year. It's tight every single year, but if we could give some special consideration to that request, both of those requests are really important.
Yeah, I know we're already behind on budget meetings, so I don't want to squirrel on that, but I would like to follow up with you on that and talk more about the laser fish.
Jim, we haven't created the fund yet, but it's proposed to be 170 for the solar. Do you have, hopefully we'll have that before we adopt the actual budget. Will there be an amount?
Yeah.
Do you have an estimate to provide to them?
Yeah, so right now Carrie could provide us with the exact amount because there's monies that we've collected that are sitting in a suspense account. There's emails floating around with exactly what that amount is currently.
Okay. I think I have that email.
Yeah, you probably have it. It's roughly $3 million. Now, how we, you and I have worked together on this in the past briefly, how we establish as we collect additional monies, ILF monies, and we have to just create separate accounts, of course, for those by that project level. And then, I know it's a hot topic, but what is not included in this budget is intra-fund insurance. And because I didn't know what the number was.
I've added them.
You did?
Since you've been talking.
Okay.
I know that you thought planning was much higher than building. However, building's a lot higher than you thought too. So let me show you where these are now.
So I know what was swept out of the account last year.
So it's a 14% increase this year. And yes, building is less than planning, but
And why is that?
I think it's because the current expense shared cost is higher and building is less exposure, would be my estimate.
What's that?
But
Would be less exposure than, like, they're driving around and we have planners upstairs sitting at desks?
based on how they had it calculated, that's the way it shook out. And
Who calculates that?
Yeah, who's they? I don't know who they is.
I don't know who created the formula, but it's a liability worksheet and based off of it, and it's been shared with Blair. So in the coming years, it's gonna be Blair, how he determines the exposure. But previously, it was
I would just think that building would be higher than planning. So for context, planning was $116,000 last year and building was 77.
So each department was assigned a level, 1, 2, or 3, 3 obviously being the highest exposure. And who determined what department to be what exposure? I don't know. But this is how they ended up being assigned. Sure.
When you, it doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah, I would like that too. I've not seen that.
No, I don't know. I would.
Yeah, and I completely understand there's an increase. It just would seem to me that you've got, the building department, which is, generating revenues, should absorb the higher amount and also has the higher risk. I mean, we've got 3 guys bombing around the county. And then planning, current expense, we would want to keep costs away from that. And we've got 3 planners sitting upstairs at the desk.
Thank you.
Makes sense.
So if you look just at yours, yeah, for some reason planning's a level higher.
Makes no sense.
Must have had an incident.
Well, I paid for the incident. So that was in there too, so. But
Somebody made it.
Yeah, this is
10
just
years
the
ago.
premiums, but obviously the next years after any incidents would be a higher exposure.
so are these numbers, so this is 2025.
Yes.
Okay, so what's 2026 then?
Well, 2026 until Blair says otherwise, it's just a 14% increase on 2025.
Okay.
And so planning would be 133,000.
And it's, okay.
Next week, if we have all the commissioners together, Blair and I have a discussion we need to have about that 14% executive session.
Just a reevaluation of risk.
I don't know if you recall, but when I sent the list of all the asset specifics, I think there may have been errors on yours for planning and building, like what vehicles were assigned to you. Do you remember that? And so that was attached to that spreadsheet too.
Yeah, I mean, and the vehicles were understated, so.
Yeah, so and that's very possible, but that goes off of what Clear Risk has.
Oh.
So I can't just change it because that's how they base their rate.
So do we think we should fix that going into?
Blair said he did. Blair was given all this and he was supposed to be working with Clear Risk to fix those things that weren't accurate.
Yeah, I want to audit that, because I mean, it's just,
Yeah, you should be able to get it from Blair very easily.
yeah, it's not, it's not a reflection on you. I just think that we should move as much away from current expense as we can. I mean, if the building as a whole is, has to contribute roughly $200,000 plus to intra-fund insurance, that's fine. But I just think that it should be reversed.
Yeah, and it looks like current expense all had the same exposure number. So that could be it as well. So it had nothing really to do with planning specific things. It's just because it's part of current expense.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, that was Kirk and Katie who had the institutional knowledge about that spreadsheet.
Yeah. Which goes to my favorite saying, what if the first guy had it wrong?
Very possible. And that was the other part of the big upset last year, is because the exposure only accounted for the shared liability, not the asset-specific liability. And that's what got left out of the budget. So the vehicles, yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, I mean.
I was looking for the number for the solar, but we estimate that'll be about $3 million budget, but it's self-funded.
Do you have any questions?
I don't have any further questions.
Rob, do you have any questions for Tim?
No, I don't.
Okay, we'll go into recess until 9:30.
Okay.
We're gonna go into,
Thank you.
we're gonna go into recess until 9:30.
Public defense
There he is. Good morning.
and the law library. All right, everybody has their file Mandy sent.
Well, I got less than 5 minutes ago, so I don't have it, no.
All right.
By chance, did you ever get an opportunity to look into other counties using the local library system as a law library?
No. No, I didn't.
All right, Brett, where do you want to start at? Salaries?
Well, I don't know what we're using here. I noticed there was a big difference on the deal, but on what I got a minute ago, but
It had 2025, I just fixed it, Brett.
I don't know what the question is then. Are we talking what we anticipate needing or? Okay, well, so ultimately, we're in the funny situation. We've got the Supreme Court order on public defense that says that that we're ordered to comply with the caseload standards, and it says immediately, which means I probably, if we're going to comply with that, I probably need 15 more lawyers. Okay. However, then it also says that in lieu of, if you can't do it, then at the minimum you have to do the 10% of the difference, and we've got that scaled down, right? And we're okay for that right now, depending on what happens in this last 2 months of the year, what we're doing with some contractors. But so at any rate, so the question is do we budget for the possibility that we find 15 more lawyers right now, or do we try to scale that up? And so scaling it up is kind of what I'm looking at. I'm hoping to hire, 3 lawyers more than we've got right now. I'd like to have 7 lawyers throughout in the office, that is, on salaries in 2006 or 26. However, I also would like the flexibility that if another 1 or 2 comes, I mean, I may have to ask for a budget extension to do that, I guess. But when they come to us, we want to get them. So that's the funny situation we're in with regards to that, salaries and benefits. And salaries and benefits are our office, with the attorneys that work in our office. So, I don't know, does that answer the question that we're asking? Or do we want to be more specific with people's salaries?
Currently, are you requesting any new positions? I mean, I know you think you want 15 more from people.
Well, no, I understand though that we do have this client support specialist that's on there that we haven't filled yet. And we would like to fill that, partly because the standards require that you hire social workers and that sort of thing.
Where's that position on this budget?
Number 18, I think. Is
Is
that right?
the Andy ESET?
No, that's a Rule 9 interns. And when we don't have Andy this year, that's just a summer intern. But we do plan on hiring. In fact, I've interviewed 1 intern and I have a OPD scheduling me for another one. So we do plan to have interns in the summer.
Use your extra help for that though, that 12,000. Is that what this is for?
No, yes and no. Temporary help can be anything. I mean, temporary help at times we've had to bring in, the Rule 9 intern was, I had that note in last year. That was from my last year's deal because I used last year's spreadsheet to start that.
Okay.
I mean, it could include temporary, an intern, right? But the last time we used it, I can't remember when it was. I mean, we do the temporary help because we had to run through files and scan files and stuff like that, and needed that extra help. And had some people come in to do that.
Oh, is this the one you updated? Did you update the 2025 one? Because we had provided a 2026 one for salaries, but this looks like the one you may
If
have
you-
updated.
Yeah, if you gave me a 2026 one, it got lost in the shuffle.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking at it and it's empty. The one we provided for 2026. So,
Well, the one that I sent to you should have,
okay, so it just was mislabeled as 2025.
that could be. Because we've redone last summer, I guess, we redid the salary schedules for attorneys.
So let
So
me,
I had to put all that in myself.
Mandy, you'll add the 3 positions into the PMR. That's the request.
are these unapproved? Your highlighted public defender and client support specialist? Or they just?
They have been approved in the
Okay.
past, like
Oh, okay.
2024 or something. I mean, it was,
Gotcha,
we
okay.
just didn't do anything with it last year.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Client support specialist and which one?
Two public defenders and client support
Yeah,
specialists.
well, we've always had those. We've had as many as 11 public defenders in office since I've been here.
They just haven't been filled.
But we have it filled. So
Understood.
over the past several years, we've just removed a couple because there wasn't much hope of hiring them. So we took them out and we went a little heavier toward contractors because we're doing hourly contractors. And, and that of course creates less control over the system, but that's where we were able to go. And so we've done that budget dance. So now as we're talking about salaries, as we go through those salaries, a lot of times, so like last year, we had more contractors than we expected because we couldn't hire people, but we were able to do contractors. Another reason we spent more money on contractors was because we've had so many serious cases with conflicts that we've had to go get more lawyers to do some cases, just a case or two. And because they're difficult cases, they bill the heck out of you. So that's, anyway. Yes, what I have in there is I would like those positions, even though we haven't had them. In fact, I guess we don't need to say too much, but I have an interview today with a potential new hire. On Monday, we hired a new attorney started. I have an interview today, and I've been in touch with a third-year law student that I visited with. It wasn't a formal interview, but it was a pretty good interview last fall, who wants to come this way when he takes the bar exam. And so I am anticipating that working out. I mean, I'd say 80% the possibility. That working out, and so we'll have another new lawyer there. And anyway, and
Would that fill those 3 positions but you're still needing or requesting 3 new FTEs? 2026?
three new as well as the new ones?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm assuming these 2 will be 2 of them, right? Does that make sense?
So then you'll just have the one.
So I may have the one that's open so I can always hire when I need to hire, so I can move fast and hire when I need to hire somebody. And I suppose if it looks like, there's a big rush on Grant County Public Defense, well, I'll come and ask for another position to be hired, but no, 3, as long as I have 3 more attorneys than I have now, I'm happy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and they're included in your budget currently, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least I lose track of when we've pulled back or whatever, but right now I would like to have those three so that I can fill them when I need to fill them. Does that make sense? And we do need them. I mean, to comply with the order, there are some of the counties, I know Thurston County is down, they're kind of a different breed, but I know Thurston County has just decided that they are budgeting for full compliance with the caseloads and, and I mean, there's no chance they're gonna spend a third of their budget, but that's what they've done. I mean, I think that's overkill, but I think it is probably wise to budget, if for nothing else, that if, I mean, not that anybody ever looks at us anymore, but, coming through the best settlement, you had, people were looking at us closely and at least if somebody scrutinizes us, we can say, hey, we're planning for it. We're trying to fill these positions and comply with the court's order. That makes sense? As long as we're funded well enough, nobody can complain about us. And that's kind of where I'm at. And it's just, and maybe that's just too much of a knee jerk from having, maybe I'm the last guy that's worried about what happened back then, but that wasn't very pleasant. And so I kind of like to hedge against that. I mean, if I was budget, if we're budgeting, I'm budgeting for what I want, not. Anyway, am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're tracking.
I mean, if I was gonna say we're budgeting for what we expect to be next year, I would say we would take a position away. But I sure want to have it so I can hire. I guess that's my pitch.
What about your other expenses? Right.
Well, some of those are interesting. And yours, what you showed me didn't seem to have as many categories as I have, so I don't know if did you include some? The one that you sent to me a few minutes ago? Did we combine some
Let me see.
or something? Anyway, yeah, the other expense, of course, the payroll expenses are what they are, right? Some of the other expenses, one thing I did forget that maybe we need to add in is as of October 1st, investigators and interpreters have to charge sales tax. So we probably need to add, 9 or 10% to those budgets. And I have, then those budgets in mine are broken out into 3 different categories each between district, superior, and juvenile court. And those actually seem to be rising costs there.
That was a big change last year.
So that, that'll affect my budget. And that's something I forgot last minute to consider, was that when I did my invoices this month, I remembered that. And that's one. Expert witnesses I'm expecting an increase. In fact, the last part of this year, that's kind of increasing simply because of the nature of the cases we have at this point. We have a disproportionate amount of cases that are going to require mental health evaluations and things like that. If that continues, maybe next year we'll have a peaceful year.
No crime.
I would love to be relegated to doing estate planning because everybody's doing so well, but so far they still need me doing this. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't know, is there a particular item that looks funky to you?
Yeah, something I missed.
Like adult felony, this one that says adult felony, public defense, superior court. And then we have adult misdemeanor and the juvenile attorneys, you know, because we use the contractors so much. And that, and between that and my salary and benefits budget, sometimes those shift.
Well, I assume that's the reason why the budget for 2026 is 225,000. For the
225
juvenile public defense.
For which one, juvenile?
Yeah, public defense. So you had major cases, several conflicts have driven this.
Oh, yes, that was a big one because we had all those, we had 3 or 4 drive-bys that we had to go out to get attorneys that bill by the hour to handle cases. So we picked up several. We had two lawyers out of Wenatchee, I think 3 or 4 out of Spokane that are doing those types of cases. And hopefully that dissipates in 26, but
we can vote.
so far only one of those have been resolved though, and it's, you know, and we're at the holidays now, so some of those are gonna be expensive still in 26, just those cases that already exist. If that makes sense. Right, so our actual, so as of, and this 175, I think those numbers were end of July that I've already used. So we were over budget on juvenile public defense at the end of July. And I don't have real numbers for that right now, and that's why I just chose sort of randomly 225. Because even pro rata, I'm probably going to be over that this year, but I'm anticipating not as many of those types of cases this year. Just a regression back to the norm. And as we talk about every year, I you know, my budget is really simply reactive. We do as much as we have to do. You know, I'm not shy about spending money on experts and investigators and that because that's what we do. But on the other hand, I think I'm pretty careful with the budget. Concerned with the money that comes from the taxpayers.
Do you anticipate any new bills regarding public defense or indigent defense dropping in January in the new session?
Oh, right now we're working on a lot of court rules, but that goes through the state Supreme Court. That the legislature doesn't have anything to do with that. So right now we are working on that a little bit because there are some things, but it's not anything that's going to cost us money. I would think there is a bill to provide more money. I mean, they're always talking about more money to OPD, and generally what that translates to is that gets us a little more money on the pass through. Like for example, you can see this year it's probably double what we're going to get from OPD, the award from OPD. But it's just because they're running more money. The legislature provided more money to them for that purpose. The things that OPD does is we don't do that. OPD, they're going to take over a lot of what they call the Involuntary Treatment Act stuff, which is civil commitments of people who need to be committed against their will. Ours go through Yakima now. Yakima County handles those. And I don't know if there was ever an agreement for that, but Yakima County, but they do it, and I'm not gonna rock the boat. Because Yakima County is where the facility's at, where they keep the involuntary treatment folks. And so they just do it all down there. And so Yakima County handles our cases on those. You know, we used to have sexually violent predator cases. We don't do those anymore. OPD does them. So OPD is, I mean, there's gonna be a change there, but it's not anything that's gonna affect our budget. Because we already don't do them. So, yeah. Yeah, a lot of that stuff over the last few years, the changes have been that OPD is contracting with attorneys themselves rather than the counties having to do it through their budgets. So that's happened with several things. For example, the people who were at Eastern State Hospital on not guilty by reason of insanity, that kind of thing. We used to handle those about 2 years ago. OPD started to do that. So anyways.
I'm getting a little bit different numbers from what you sent me, Brent. We might have to,
Yeah, I know, that's what I was,
I think this is what you sent me. Let me close it, make sure. So, salaries. Okay, 198, okay, that's right. Oh, no, it's not right.
no, I do.
Oh, look at what here, you try to sneak in a COLA.
Well, that was just from last year.
Nice try. So when I fix
So
that,
the top two salaries, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure that I put in there, if I didn't send you another thing, but, because those are attached to the salary commission.
it was
So-
Seco, yeah.
So those will change slightly,
Yeah.
although it was a small bump this year, it wasn't very big one.
So what's this 11,000 for nobody?
Oh, that was Cozy's position,
So is it vacant?
yes.
Are you gonna rehire?
That's why there's nothing in here. I didn't have them salary. So this longevity things, there's something left, I guess.
Okay, so why is it like giving him $10,000 extra?
I have no
You
idea.
Sly guy.
That wasn't my form, that was
Okay.
you guys' form.
Okay, 186. Okay, now we're matching. Does this look right then?
I don't know, I have, yes.
Yeah, I don't come anywhere near there. So I don't know what you. I have this. And then slightly different benefits because it was calculating, oh, I'm higher on benefits. Oh, because I'm calculating for the vacant benefits, which I don't think you did.
Well, but we're doing a budget, so we should calculate the vacancy.
Yes, I agree. Let me. Oh, yeah, much higher. Let me see here. Okay, and maybe, I mean, in total, we're coming to the same 2,700, which is this plus this. Close, we're close on total, just a little shift between salaries and benefits. And then your insurance, I added 14%.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what that costs. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cost that I don't,
Or wait, hold on.
isn't in my.
Oh, wait, the 14%'s over here. That's what I need to make it. Hold on. Oh, wait, why is that so much higher? Oh, okay, because actuals. And then, what one were you wondering about to date? Your expenses to date on that you had no idea? That you were over budget as of July?
I think we were talking about juvenile public defense
Which
down
one?
below.
This one? 51594?
Yeah.
4162?
Yeah.
So to date, that's your number for juvenile defense. As of end of September.
Well, that's the same number I had on the sheet that I just pulled off the website.
Okay, so. I don't know. It's an overall 8% reduction.
Don't have anything else.
Law
at this
library?
point.
Yes.
Law library is just what we pay for Westlaw, and I'm not really privy to what we get from the filing fees that come in for law library, but, so I just put a number on there, and I think we've been in the black on that for a number of years, and so there's a reserve in that law library, as I understand it.
I can't find any revenues to date for that one.
Well, it comes from the clerk's office through filing fees.
So it sounds like you guys still have some stuff to go over for his budget.
No.
Well, send me, well, I guess you did send me, that it was just a few minutes ago, and I'll.
We fixed his salary differences. We're good there. We upped his insurance, so we have his new total for public defense expenses is 4.6 million, which is an 8% reduction from previous year. The law library, I'm not seeing any coded revenues.
Might reach out to Kim and see if she's been doing that.
Well, I'm sure she does. It doesn't let her not do it.
Right.
So, those are just from civil filing fees
We just don't have the revenue.
by statute, and it, as far as I go, I've never done anything with it. They just show up.
They just show up.
And salary impacts are kind of out of your control, right? Because they're,
Of law library?
no, for your office because of mandates from the state.
Well, yeah, theoretically, the counties can just say, we're only paying this much and we're not gonna, but then we're out of compliance, and then we're in a situation, because lawyers have to sign the certifications that they're within standards. Then we have lawyers not doing that, and then we have judges that can't assign lawyers, and then we have people that are unrepresented, and now the county is not doing their constitutional duty for adequate public assistance or public defense. But so yes, it's kind of out of my control because it's just a matter of what the rules are and how many lawyers we can hire. I've said it quite a few times. I suppose you can offer a high enough salary that we get all the lawyers, but where's that cut off at? And frankly, I think we're paying reasonable salaries for our attorneys.
All right, thanks, Brett. If there's anything you need to follow up with Mandy on, please do.
Okay,
And then
I'll look
we
at
will-
that again and get a hold of you if we need to.
Okay.
We will start our museum bond construction budget meeting. Come on up to the table, sir.
All right, thank you. Good morning. All situated here. I guess to get started, we kind of had a rough year this year. Last year, we had some adjustments made on our budget, and and I understand how that works, but we've had to cut one day off of our schedule, or off of our opening week, one day, Tuesdays. Then we adjusted the hours also to help stay within the budget, but I think that's what kind of hurt us this year. And then also, somehow I got messed up on the LTAC grant last year. So we didn't get any of that. So we didn't have any advertising money, so I didn't buy any ads at all. Excuse me. The only thing I did was bought a couple of radio ads for our Living Museum and our Pioneer Day, which I thought was, kind of had to go into the payroll budget to pay for that. But luckily, we had a couple of grants come through that we used, so that really was a big help. But anyway, our numbers were down a little bit. Visitors this year were 845. Last year, they were about 1046. Donations were 12,440. And out of that 12,000, we got a really nice one from Fern Daniels Estate, $7,700, which was really nice. And her family said we could use that for anything we needed. So that was really a big help as far as our payroll budget. And then here, just this last year, here a couple months ago, Lynn Ross was one of our employees. And 4 or 5 months ago, he went home one day. This is after, well, he had left the museum and found other stuff. So anyway, he went home one day and never woke up. So anyway, his family out of Montana donated $2,500 in his name here just a couple months ago. So that was another big help there. So that's a part of that number. So that was real nice. But other than that, I guess I laid off the crew last month. Usually we carry everybody through the year. And of course, we cut our hours. We cut everybody's hours down to minimum. And it's kind of our downtime to get our stuff done that we've kind of left there for during the season, because when they're doing tours and stuff, it's kind of hard to get any of that stuff done with your visitors, whatnot. But yeah, that kind of hurt us a little bit. But anyway, so I'm still employed there. I'm going to think I'll stay on the payroll probably till maybe next month, and then I'm going to have to probably lay myself off. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll get some help somewhere, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this late in the year. But anyway, but for now, we're kind of behind on things. And I'm trying to do the best I can with myself. And then the living room, or the artist house, was really in bad shape. I've been wanting to do that for a couple of years. So that's what I've been working on here since we've been closed, is I'm repainting it and scraping all the walls and doing all that stuff and just fixing it up right. It really needs it. Really needed it real bad. So that's what I'm doing. It's going to there's a lot of things that I've kind of just took priority on, and some of the stuff we're going to have to let pass because it's just not going to be enough time. But anyway, I've asked for a little bit increase this year of 10,000 or 20,000. Last year we were granted 140, and it's doable, yes, but in some parts it's not. So I thought maybe 170, 175 would be the good number to bring on a couple more people for some. And where we really get in trouble is on the opening season is during our tours. There's only 3 of us giving tours now. And, there's times where you get 2 or 3 families in there and there's not enough to give them the tours. We don't have the staff. So what we did, we kind of combined so a few of them, we took them together. I took a couple families. It doesn't work. There's a different, interest. Some people like the barbershop, some like the school. They want to stop and visit and look and this and that. And I had several of them get through about halfway and decide maybe they'll come back, or so it just doesn't work. And then I think Cindy last year suggested maybe we should just open it up and let the inventory in that place is just, you just can't replace some of that stuff. You just can't.
So
And
you're
then-
afraid of damage or theft?
Yeah, theft, both. But even when we're on tours, they still go up and they grab it, move it, lift it up and look at it.
And
They
you've
got signs
please
all
don't
over,
touch
please do
signs.
not touch, or, but I would really be afraid to do that. I really would, but yeah, no, it's just, that inventory in there is just priceless, and I just don't know. I don't think we need to go there. I wish, but that's where we're at. So this year, we're hoping to get 160. It's not what we need, but we can get by with it, and hopefully we can make it work, which we will. So,
I couldn't adjust Caitlin's spreadsheet, so I just updated the 2025 one, and she had $16,000 for insurance, and I increased that to 14%, so I have a roughly $1,300 difference between this budget and the proposed budget.
okay. And then another thing too, last year, we didn't get the repairs amount, which is really a big help for us. And that's for fixing the sink and buying towels and cleaning supplies. That stuff adds up in a hurry.
Have you been working through the facilities department for that stuff, for some of those?
No. No. I understand that's part of their deal, but Kevin's been really good to
Well,
us.
we have fund stuff, so
We need to utilize that.
it's as simple as putting in that Wimble ticket and you'll have maintenance guys showing up there doing that.
Okay. See, I wasn't aware of that, but I didn't. I thought it was through the county. I mean, I did a few things on my own and I kind of got my hands slapped because I was getting a little crazy with stuff, but so a lot of it I've been doing myself. If I can, I will, but comes to electrical problems and plumbing and that kind of stuff, we got to call somebody.
Yeah, and regardless of whatever that is, if you even if you do it yourself, if you expend money and it's for a maintenance part of that facility, let Kevin know.
Okay.
So, there's a good chance that we'll, be able to just have you send the receipt or the invoice to Kevin.
Okay. Good. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of it. They've done a lot for us this year.
Well, that's what they're there for.
Oh, boy,
So,
Kevin's
yeah.
really been good to us,
Yeah.
really good.
Well, we want that to
And,
continue.
Yeah, and I know he's busy too, there's a lot of things, not a lot of things, but there's a few things that he wanted to get to this year, he never got to it, and that's the front of the building there is kind of getting bad. Two of the buildings need painted pretty bad at the fronts. But they put in a new sidewalk, they cleaned up the whole front for us.
If they know about it, they can schedule it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's been really good to us.
keep that communication going.
Yeah, yes.
You received 10,000 from LTAC?
I think this year he's receiving 11.
Yeah.
Because that could go to advertising.
Yes,
So,
that's what I use it for, yes, sir.
yeah, can't use non-professional services.
Yeah,
It's listed under professional services for some reason.
That was just for time because I couldn't edit her budget, and I was just
Oh, I got it.
updating it really quickly instead of adding a whole new line with a bunch of data.
Okay,
And that's why I made the note that it included the 10,000 for advertising.
thanks.
good, thank you. So has that been approved then?
What?
That,
I think it went through yesterday.
Yeah, we signed it yesterday.
and that was for
Whatever your request was.
Oh,
I got the whole
12.8,
thing
I
for
think is
you.
what I submitted.
So you had 845 visitors. What do they pay per person?
Adults are 5, and children under 6 or under 6 are free, and students are 3.
Do the 845 include students and kids though?
No,
Just paying adults?
yes. We were down a bit this year too with school. Usually we get 5 or 6 tours, and in the past, we just asked for a donation and they're really, really good about it, 150, 200, 250. But this year, we only had 3 schools. And, well, we sent out letters to every school too. We do every year prior to letting them know what our hours are gonna be and be sure and call. And then another thing, the research room's doing real well too. I think I need to probably, we just ask for donations on that. Since I'm there, you know, if I get a call, I go down and take them in and let them look around and go through the newspapers or whatever they need to do to look for whatever they're looking for. But yeah, yeah, that doesn't include the schools. No, just the gate.
And then what months are you open?
We're open May, this just 26th, year 2026. We open on May 23rd. And we will close on September 7th or 8th. I think it's.
And then what are your hours?
Hours are from 9 to 4. But I'm there till 5 usually, so if I get a late person that comes in, I usually let them in, but it's not enough time to go through the buildings. There's 38 buildings, and it takes a good 2 hours if you want to go through the whole, which most of them do.
And what days?
Wednesday through Saturday. You know, we cut off that Tuesday, and I think that was okay. Like, looking back, yeah, we missed a few in there, but not very many. I mean, it kind of helped. It really did. We should,
Do you track your visitor times? Like people come at 9 or they don't come at 9?
Yeah, not track it, but I kind of watch it. Our peak hours are from about 10 to 3.
Was there a software that,
Tracer AI,
yeah,
Like,
do they not use that?
replacer.
no, they don't use it. We just approved purchasing it. I don't know if it breaks down times though, like. But it will do more. Probably be not as beneficial to them.
I'm not familiar with it. I've only heard about
I
it.
am, but you're only looking at numbers, and at that point, you're looking at, that's a lot of money for something that doesn't produce any numbers, so it's not gonna be very
Gotcha.
polite to the museum.
And then during the summer too, when it gets really hot, about 2, 3 o'clock, you get into those buildings, it's not very comfortable. And a lot of them do leave, but there's 4 or 5 of the buildings that stay pretty good. The barn has really been a big asset for us, really has. We've done a lot of work in there, changed all the displays and moved things around and put everything in different categories, you know, like there's a toy one, there's a Grand Coulee deal and that kind of stuff. We kind of broke it up, put it in sections. So it's really been, it's quite this, you know, they spend a good, I've had some go in there 2 hours sometimes, but it's big. There's a lot to see in there.
It's a nice building.
And then we get so many thank yous and, you know, this is just amazing what this little town has. You got to let people know you're here. They tell me that all the time. And I say, you know, we got to get into the web this year. I got to pay somebody to do it. We don't have the time or the knowledge. And I tried the high school and this and that. And it's just not what we need. We need somebody that'll come in there and I found the gal in Othello. She helps the museum there. And that's how I got her name. And so hopefully she'll come down and let us know how our program works. And we were going to do it last year, but things weren't good, so I couldn't. But it's going to be, like I told the board members, you know, it's no different than calling a plumber or electrician, you know. It's stuff that we need done, and we need to have it done right. And she did come down, and she did give me some stuff last year, but she wanted to come down and, you know, and actually meet with all of you and our board and explain her deal and how it works. But what I like about her, we can do it for the 3 months that we need her, or 4 months, or whatever we need. So she's willing to do that. But it's gonna be like about $1,800 a month to start. And that's But, I mean, we get our comments all the time from our visitors. You got a nice place here. I'm telling you, you need to tell somebody about it. So that's really nice to hear that, really is.
You should reach out to Big Bend or something, because I built my own business webpage. It took me probably like 4 hours.
Really?
And I mean, it's pretty nice, and it's more than what you guys need. And it's, I don't know, I think I paid $350 to host it for a year.
Wow.
So, I mean, $1,800 a month's crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's,
If I had more free time, I'd do it for you.
but, you know, she had quite, it's way over my head, but.
Yeah. But nowadays, you know, I mean, honestly, you could get on something like Shopify, and AI would build your whole site if you supplied information and pictures. So,
Okay.
and that's what they're all doing
Right, yes,
anyways.
yes.
And then just getting a monthly fee off people.
But she said, I'll come down every week and you let me know which building you want to talk about. And I'll feature that or two or whatever you want. And then another thing we just did too, I got that grant from City Parks. I have used it. I purchased that reader board out front. I'll tell you, we're getting a lot of good response off of that.
So,
Really good.
quick question, so we have a historical museum webpage on the Grant County website.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's got scrolling pictures, the whole 9 yards. What about doing a walk around video like Phil Coates does for the jail? You know, Phil Coates is doing updates for our jail. He goes out there, he's got a selfie stick, and he walks around and he talks about specific parts of the jail. That would be very easy to upload to this.
Okay.
You know, if you were just to contact the IT department and say, I'd like to add video, you know, or video of this or what have you. And then we just need to promote that.
Mhm. But this is another thing she said she would do.
This is something you can do yourself without
Okay.
paying anybody.
Okay. I did have a gal from, she was a volunteer. We asked her, the Rotary helped us this year a lot. And Church of Latter-day Saints were really good to us. They sent those kids over, you know. Well, they helped us a lot. But anyway, this one gal, she stayed on. She worked every Friday from 10 to 2. And she started on that. She's the one that put that together that you're looking at, kind of.
Yeah.
But then we had this other fella, Jay. He hasn't been feeling very good. So between the both of them, they've been back and forth, and then forget to do this, forget to do that. And it was kind of a mess. Times were wrong, dates and that kind of stuff. I heard about that all the time, but
Okay.
yeah, we can do, yeah, sounds good. And then getting our name out there again in the magazines and everything is gonna help us too. We missed out on a big, in fact, the reason I asked about that LTAC is that the funds, because I've had a couple people already call me for this next year already for ads. Radio station, of course, when the Wenatchee World, Star Publishing, they're gonna give us another 30 days. I didn't want to commit to anything until I found out if everything was gonna be okay to go ahead and do that. And Pacific Publishing was another one. The venue, she called, but I didn't talk to her, so I assume that's what she's looking for too, to get into that, so.
Well, they're all gonna be watching
Yeah.
the LTAC results and then trying to take your money from you. So just make sure you put it in a good place.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's about it that I have.
We also have the actual construction budget on schedule, and we just have the fund balance
Correct.
budget for the year.
Do you have a budget, number right now for our budget where we're at now?
For museum,
I think we're at about 6,500 according to my numbers, but I don't know where Caitlin is. I think we got the quarterlies aren't taken off of that number yet. I guess I can step upstairs and ask her to give me a copy of it.
As far as the museum bond construction expense, the 2026 budget has 94,589.35.
I actually increased it. It must have been some interest Daryl's earned to 99,000.
Okay, so 99,000, and that's that fund, so if you're contacting Kevin, that's the fund he's using
Okay,
to perform maintenance.
good, okay.
Make sure you
See, I
use
wasn't
it.
aware of that. I didn't know I could do it that way.
Make sure you do that.
There's, oh, we spent a lot of money right off.
That's okay. If you need it, that's what
And
it's there for.
Kevin has been down there and taught you how to use the limbo system, right, to put in a work order request.
We talked about it a couple times, but we never got around to it. But he'd mentioned it a couple times.
Please,
So,
please reach out to him and make sure
Okay.
you learn how to do that.
Okay.
Because that's all you have to do. You don't even have to call him.
okay,
You just go to the website and you can either put it in that way, or you can call and Kevin can put it in, but you know, if you can even do it on your cell phone.
that's what he's telling me.
Yeah.
Okay,
You just fire that off and then forget, and you're gonna have maintenance guys show up.
okay. Sounds
Thank
good.
you for that update, Mandy.
Yeah, we used some of our budget there to buy lumber for our boardwalk too, and that's, we kind of opened up something there that we can't. I know it's a nice thing and we do it and it's nice, but I mean, we've got, when we charge $35 a board and we probably got 150 in it, by the time you pay labor and supplies but it's something we're gonna have to just keep doing. We had a pretty good year actually this year. We had 25 new boards. We replaced 11. Or no, actually about 38 boards this year. So that was a pretty good order for new ones. Usually we don't get 10 or 12 maybe at the most, but that Kennedy family is really getting involved and he's bought a lot of them. So when will these funds be approved, if they are?
First Monday of December.
Oh, wow, nice.
So you actually have at the end of September, 19,000, almost 20,000 left in your budget.
September?
Yes.
Okay, so see, we got payroll. What's that? So there's another
It's not
10,000 she hasn't taken off. Yeah, we're pretty close. My number is about 6,500.
Anything else for the budget?
I don't have anything.
Very good.
All right,
Thank you very much.
you bet, thank you.
Okay, we will be going into recess from now until 1 p.m. when we are at the Grant County Fairgrounds for the Grant County Lead Summit.